Here's the moment.
Where am I serving?
Yeah.
Federer and Novak.
That's
Greatness,
right.
recognizing
Keep that
greatness.
Yeah.
Tell you what,
Guys, can you tell us about the match earlier? Seems very interesting.
Yeah, it was super fun. My very first mix double.
He sold his motorbike just to watch her play, a heartbreaking truth that sits behind Eala's Australian Open meltdown and Novak Djokovic's desperate last dance. Welcome back to Court Eeva Tennis, where we tell the stories that make you feel every emotion rushing through the veins of the sport. If you thought the Australian Open was just another tournament, 2 weeks of baseline rallies and predictable outcomes, prepare yourself, because this story shatters that illusion completely. This isn't merely about winners and errors, rankings or prize money. It's about a dying man who gave up his only possession to witness a dream, a 20-year-old girl bearing the weight of 115 million hopes as her game unravels in real time, and a 38-year-old legend standing at the edge of the abyss. Retirement loomed over him, knowing that his next loss could be his final chance at immortality. This was the Australian Open 2026, a tournament that had already delivered more drama, heartbreak, and raw human emotion than most events manage in a lifetime. Forget everything you thought you knew about tennis, because this story goes deep into the soul of the sport, and by the end, you'll never look at Court 6 the same way again. It was January 2026 in Melbourne, Australia, with the sun scorching so intensely it made the courts shimmer like a mirage, while thousands of fans packed the main stadiums, phones raised to capture moments for social media. Yet on Court 6, one of the outer courts rarely shown on television, something extraordinary was unfolding, not on the court, but in the stands. His name was Marco, a 63-year-old man born and raised in Manila, who spent his life working with his hands repairing motorcycles in a small shop in Quezon City. Marco was not a wealthy man, had never traveled internationally before this trip, and lived a simple life defined by family dinners, weekend basketball, and watching tennis on an old television set. 6 months earlier, everything changed when he received a devastating diagnosis: stage 4 metastatic pancreatic cancer. The doctors spoke in timelines measured in weeks, maybe a couple of months if he was lucky, recommending palliative care and urging him to stay close to family and make peace. But Marco had other plans. For the past 3 years, he had been obsessed with one athlete, Eala, the pride of Philippine tennis, and he watched every match she played. He watched every match he could find online, staying up until 3 in the morning to catch her tournament streams from Europe, and he once told his daughter, "Before I die, I want to see her play in person, just once, just to know that our country can produce someone like that." His family thought it was the cancer speaking, the delirium of a man clinging to impossible dreams, but Marco was serious. He sold his motorcycle, the same Honda he had meticulously maintained for 15 years, for just enough money to buy a one-way ticket to Melbourne. His daughter begged him not to go, and the doctors warned that traveling would only accelerate his decline, but Marco didn't care, telling them, "I'd rather die watching her fight than waste away in a hospital bed." And so he sat there in a wheelchair provided by the airline, under the blazing Melbourne sun on Court 6, clutching a hand-painted sign that read, "Alex, you are our hope," written in Tagalog. He was frail, his skin stretched tight over bone, yet his eyes burned with an intensity that defied his condition. This was his final pilgrimage. Then the match began as Eala walked onto Court 6 to face Alicia Parks, an American ranked 99th in the world, a matchup that looked like a formality on paper. Eala, soaring at world number 47 after a breakthrough 2025 season, was the heavy favorite, and the Filipino fans who managed to secure tickets were delirious with excitement, waving flags, chanting her name, convinced they were witnessing the start of something historic. 430 glorious minutes, they were right, as Alex played like a woman possessed, dismantling Parks with surgical precision and racing through the first set 6-0 in just 26 minutes. It wasn't merely a win but a statement. She read Parks' serve as if she had the playbook memorized, winning over 60% of return points, while the American looked completely lost, managing just 27% on her own returns and unable to find the court or any rhythm at all. Marco was crying in the stands, not tears of sadness, but of pure, overwhelming joy. This was everything he had dreamed of, his girl dominating, the Philippines winning, and he was alive to witness it all. But tennis, as every fan knows, is a cruel mistress, with a way of building you up only to watch you fall. And what happened next was a collapse so complete, so devastating that it would haunt Eala for months. In the second set, something shifted. Alicia Parks, to her immense credit, found a spark within herself: pride, anger at humiliation, or simply the muscle memory of years competing at this level, and she came alive. Her serve gained speed and precision, aces began flowing by the end of the match. Parks would finish with 12 aces to Eala's solitary 1. As Parks rose, Eala crumbled. The confidence that had radiated in the first set evaporated. Her footwork became tentative, her shot selection conservative, then panicked. Parks pushed her further behind the baseline, forcing defensive scrambling instead of the aggressive tennis that had won her the first set. The second set slipped away 6-3, and the third set was even more painful to watch, with Alex winning just 2 games. The scoreboard read 6-0, 3-6, 2-6, a bagel followed by a complete reversal, marking her first-round exit from the Australian Open and her third first-round loss at a Grand Slam. The crowd on Court 6 sat in stunned silence, Filipino fans unable to believe what had unfolded. And Marco, in his wheelchair in that distant corner, felt his heart breaking for an entirely different reason. As the players shook hands and the crowd dispersed, Marco remained, unwilling or unable to move, holding his sign "High one last time." Even as most spectators headed for the exits, it was just him, alone in his vigil and that quiet section. Holding his hand-painted message of hope, Marco witnessed something that would be replayed in Philippine sports history forever. Eala stood at the baseline, packing her bag, devastated and angry at herself, struggling to process the match she had just lost. But as she glanced up at the departing crowd, her eyes caught a lone figure in a wheelchair, a sign in Tagalog. She didn't know his name or his story, yet in that instant, a connection passed between them, one that transcended language and circumstance. Alex saw in Marco's eyes what every athlete competing for something greater than themselves understands. This wasn't just about her, it was about everyone who believed in her, who had sacrificed for her, who lived through her victories and defeats. Security was ushering people out, and court staff were preparing to clean up, but Alex ignored protocol. She placed her hand over her heart and then ran past barriers, across the court straight to Marco. Words failed to capture what happened next. She knelt beside his wheelchair as Marco sobbed, took his hands in hers, and spoke to him in Tagalog, apologizing for the loss and thanking him for coming, for believing. Through tears, Marco told her that simply being there, witnessing her fight, had been worth everything, that she had already won in ways no scoreboard could measure. They stayed like that for several minutes, with security unable to interrupt, as a quiet, profound moment of human connection unfolded in the midst of the stadium's fading chaos. The remaining fans captured the moment on their phones, and within hours, the video went viral across the Philippines and the global tennis community. It was the most heartbreakingly beautiful moment of the tournament, a reminder that at its core, sports is about human connection, inspiration, and meaning that goes far beyond trophies. Marco passed away 2 weeks later back in Manila, surrounded by his family, but his daughter told reporters that all her father talked about in those final days was that moment, not the loss, not the disappointment, but the instant when Eala ran to him, acknowledged him, and made him feel that his journey mattered. Yet as moving as that scene was, the tennis itself demands scrutiny. Eala now faces serious questions about her game. This loss was not mere bad luck, it exposed fundamental weaknesses that, if unaddressed, could keep her trapped in the 40-60 ranking purgatory. The stats tell a brutal story. While she dominated the first set, once Alicia Parks adjusted her strategy, serving with conviction and targeting Eala's patterns, Eala had no plan B. Her serve was the most glaring problem, ending the match with just 1 ace to Parks' 12, a gap that is unacceptable for any player with top 20 aspirations. The technical reality is clear. Eala is one of the best returners in women's tennis, with world-class anticipation, exceptional hands, and an almost generational ability to redirect pace. But at the elite level, a game built solely on breaking serve is insufficient. Players need free points, the confidence to step up at 30-30 in a crucial game, and the ability to hit unreturnable serves that put opponents on the defensive. Against a player like Alicia Parks, who hits with genuine power and pace, Eala's serve becomes a liability. It sits up, lacking bite, variety, and speed. When she lost momentum in the second set as Parks gained belief, Eala had no weapon to stop the bleeding. She couldn't hold serve, and the match slipped irreversibly away. Eala couldn't hold serve comfortably, she couldn't buy herself time to regroup, and that's where the mental side of tennis rears its head. The sport is as much psychological as physical, and Alex displayed a troubling pattern, dominating early only to fade when the match slips away. Protecting a lead, managing emotions as momentum shifts, And finding solutions in real time are the qualities that separate top 50 players from top 10 players, and right now, that's where Eala needs to improve. But let's be clear, no one is writing her off. Her talent is undeniable. Recall the 2025 US Open, when she stunned 14th-ranked Klaratsin in straight sets. Not a fluke, but a demonstration of what she can do when everything clicks. She absorbed power, stayed composed in the big moments, and executed her game plan flawlessly for 2 full sets. The ceiling for Eala is sky high. On any given day, she can beat anyone on tour. The challenge is consistency. Potential is no longer the question, it's about producing that level round after round, match after match, for 2 weeks straight at a major. Opponents are studying her now, targeting her second serve, pushing her forehand to the corners, forcing her to generate her own pace, and weathering the early storm of her return game to create opportunities for mistakes and loss of confidence. Next up, Alex heads back to the Philippines for the inaugural Philippine Women's Open, a WTA 125 event in Manila this February. Playing on home soil, in front of tens of thousands of Filipino fans, could be exactly the reset she needs. The pressure will be immense, but it's also an opportunity to turn the heartbreak in Melbourne into fuel, proving that the loss was a lesson rather than a sign of limitation. The work Eala needs to do is clear. She must develop a more potent first serve, add variety to her second serve, perhaps with slice or kick, to keep opponents off balance, and collaborate with her coaching team on mental resilience, strategies for protecting leads, and staying aggressive even when momentum shifts. Most importantly, she needs matches, lots of them, to build the battle-tested confidence that only comes from grinding through tough situations. The Philippine tennis community is rallying behind her. The nation has never had a player ranked this high in the WTA, and Alex is a trailblazer, whether she likes the pressure or not. Based on what we saw with Marco, she understands the responsibility and knows that millions of young Filipino kids are watching, dreaming that they could be next. Shifting gears, on the other side of the generational coin is Novak Djokovic, a man who has won this tournament 10 times, earned 24 Grand Slam titles, and achieved everything imaginable in tennis, yet at 38 finds himself fighting for every point as if his life depends on it. The tennis world is divided. Some analysts point to his recent losses to Sinner as proof that the gap is too large, while others note Djokovic's history of peaking at exactly the right moment. The truth is, nobody really knows, which is what makes this Australian Open so compelling. One certainty, Djokovic will not go quietly. He will deploy every tactical adjustment, every ounce of mental strength, and every trick in his playbook to fight for every match. Should he somehow pull off the miracle and win the tournament, it would be more than a tennis victory. It would be a statement about aging, determination, and refusing to accept limitations. The Australian Open 2026 is shaping up to be one of the most emotionally charged tournaments in recent memory. On one side, Eala carries the hopes of an entire nation while confronting technical limitations and the ghosts of matches that slipped away, her heartbreak in Melbourne either threatening to break her or forge her into something stronger. On the other, Novak Djokovic, the old king, faces the young lions, aware that time is running out and this might be his final stand, his last chance to add to an already unmatched legacy. Both journeys are approaching pivotal moments, each with the power to define generations. To their core, both journeys are fundamentally human, about far more than tennis. They are about the sacrifices we make for our dreams, how we respond to adversity, the connections we forge, and the legacies we leave behind. Marco understood this, which is why he sold his motorcycle and traveled across the world despite being told he might die in the attempt. He knew some moments transcend the ordinary, that witnessing greatness, even in defeat, even for just a few hours, can give life a meaning that years of mere existence cannot match. And that, ultimately, is what tennis is about. We don't just watch it, we feel it. Every match tells a story, every tournament is a collection of human dramas unfolding in real time, and every player carries something far deeper than what appears on the scoreboard. So the questions remain. Can Eala bounce back from this devastating loss, develop the serve and mental toughness to break into the top 20, and will playing in front of her home crowd in Manila be the catalyst she needs, or will the pressure overwhelm her? And brutally honestly, does Novak Djokovic have one more miracle left in him, or has the era of Sinner and Alcaraz become absolute? Can experience and guile triumph over youth and power one last time? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one, and your insights make this channel what it is. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the human side of tennis, into the stories that make this sport so compelling, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. We're covering every match, every upset, every tear, and every triumph throughout this tournament and beyond. This is Tennisics, where we bring you tennis with heart, with soul, and with the understanding that sometimes the most important victories happen off the court. I'll see you in the next one, where we'll continue following these incredible stories as they unfold. Until then, keep fighting for your dreams, whatever they may be. Peace.
Kids, Tara and Stefan, they're at home. So how do they support you from home? Do they get the permission to wake up in the middle of the night?
No, absolutely not. They're sleeping right